Here comes Haig and his crazy antics.
Hello there and welcome to another tips and tricks video here at Genesis Models. This tips and tricks is going to be all about basing for natural metal finishes. This is basically what you prime your model to do your natural metal finishes, but it's a nice tip and a trick because there's different ways you can go about your priming that really sort of affects your natural metal finish. So what we have just here is the bottom bit of a Spitfire, the lovely 1/42 scale by Eduard, and what I've done is basically I've primed this up in lots of different ways, and we're going to see the different results by just putting one coat of a natural metal finish down. So what we have here is absolutely bare plastic. We'll see how that turns out. We've got a plain simple bit of priming down there, which is just our surface primer by Vallejo, which is 70615. We've then got that primer with a gloss on top. Then we have a plain simple black, which is just 057. Then that black with a gloss coat on, and then we have some bog standard pre-shading that we do, which again, you know, we've got this primer and then we've got this black there, but down here we've glossed that up as well, just to see the differences. So what we're going to be using is we're going to be using for this Alclads 2. Now yes, I mean, this could change in depending on the colors you use, but the whole point of this is to get you thinking of, you know, different sort of different primers. And I know some natural metal finish could change the effect and everything, but it's just to get you thinking really. So you have to give these a good shake, these Alclads 2, and get all the sediment off the bottom, right? And then we need to whack our air pressure down pretty sort of low, at least below the 15 mark, right? Because it is rather thin stuff. So let's just open this up. Let's pour a little bit in. It always does seem to gloop down the sides, so let's get a kitchen paper towel. You can use pipettes if you want to, but I find that it's a bit of a waste when you can just clean that up with a kitchen paper towel. And then what we're going to do is plain and simply spray on top of this until we've got some good coverage on here. Now I need to hold this in some way. Here we go. So let's just start with a nice light misty coat all over this model. There we go. Light misty coat all over the model, right, just to get it started. Then we're going to cut to air just to dry that up, which it should dry pretty sort of quick. Blast a bit out here, right, and then we can sort of do nice light coats. And you want to try to keep this nice and even as possible, right? We don't want it big pools up in certain areas, because with natural metal finishes you need to keep it even. If you kind of do too much in one area and not enough in the other, it is noticeable. Natural metal finishes aren't forgiving with these types of paints, right, which is probably why different primers really sort of affect the way it looks and how it goes down. Now this does dry pretty quickly, so I could probably come in with another coat pretty quick. Now this is tips and tricks, so I'm not gonna spend all this time filming me spraying this up and getting good coverage down, so I'm going to come back when this is all pucker. So there it is, all nice and finished. Now if we sort of look at this now a little bit sort of closer, and we are going to need to sort of rotate this in the light for you to sort of see. We can see the differences. Now when you sort of look at it, it's almost like do you know what, I don't think there is a wrong way of actually doing this. Now you could just sort of see just here, this is going on bare plastic, and actually it doesn't look that bad at all. It does seem a little bit sort of dull, but still kind of got that nice natural metal finish to it. With the primer, it kind of almost looks a little bit sort of duller than just going on bare plastic, which is kind of interesting. That I almost look at this and I'd, you know, if I was to pick the two, I'd go for the bare plastic. But then this is where we start going a bit glossy. Once we get gloss down, you'll really sort of start to notice that it really gets a shine to it, right? So this one here, this is primer and a gloss, and it really makes a massive difference by putting that gloss down. Hopefully you can see there we've got the primer without the gloss and the primer with the gloss. Massive difference. Same with the black. Actually, we've got our black here, but then as soon as we put on a gloss, it really shines things up. So if you're really going for sort of nice shiny natural metal finish, you could pretty much go off and whack a prime it, whatever you sort of want, whatever you kind of prefer, but you put a gloss coat on top, then put your natural metal finish on, and we get such a lovely sort of shine to the metal, hopefully, as you can see there. Now with black, hopefully you can sort of see that it kind of, I don't know, it sort of does give it a bit more of a natural metal finish. It sort of does give it that bit of a shine. I mean, this black just here is just black. It's not got the gloss on like it has here, but even the black just gives it a bit more of a deeper sort of a natural metal finish, and it looks, you know, just more sort of realistic. And then with, as I say, with the black and gloss just really sort of almost gives you that T2000 or whatever it is, Terminator sort of natural sort of shiny look, as you can sort of see there. Then we have, it's a bit sort of hard to see the actual, what was it, the pre-shading we're doing. Admittedly, I think I've kind of killed it off a little bit, but if, there you go. You could sort of, if you get it rotated in the light, you can sort of see that sort of natural metal finish where the black is. Yes, and as we kind of expect now, you put a gloss on there and it just shines up the natural metal finish that little bit more, and hopefully I'm sort of seeing that just there. Personally, I don't think that sort of works very well, because the black comes out so much, and when you sort of rotate it, it does look a little bit off. So I probably wouldn't recommend that. But this here, really, all of them would probably do any sort of model. It's just how you want that model to be, or what kind of natural metal finish you're after. If you want something a little bit sort of dull, you know, normal grey primers or even bare plastic seems to do a good job. But if you want to sort of start making it look rather shiny, and sort of that kind of look, then you know what, glosses and blacks really sort of do go down that route if you want to go there. You know, personally, do you know what, the black and the gloss, looking at, because I mean, I know you're trying to look through the camera here, but the Mark 1 eyeball, the black and the gloss, it just looks too sort of, makes it look so shiny and, or like it's been polished and stuff. So you know, probably a good one for aircraft would probably be something between just a black without the gloss. But then again, you've also got to keep in mind that, you know, once you put your decals down and maybe you put gloss coats down for glosses and stuff and all that kind of stuff, I mean, things will probably change. So, you know, the black, I normally find that what normally happens is you put all your matte coats on, your gloss coats on, it seems to dull down natural metal finishes, right? So in some ways, as much as this black with the gloss kind of might seem a bit too shiny and in your face, it is most likely going to be dulled down and sort of blended in. So you might want to go that route. to sort of, you know, keep that natural metal finish. It's just one of these experience things in modeling. But anyway, hopefully, you know, that has sort of shown you the differences and the different effects of getting your bases right, or however you want it, when it comes to natural metal finishes. So hopefully that's been a good tips and tricks for you. So until next time, my name is Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.